You okay?
One thing I found so interesting when I was putting this tour together is that we have so many houses on that side built in the 1890s, and we just moved right across the street, and we have houses built nearly 20 years later. The house behind me, certainly again one of Sioux City's most prominent. Almost everyone knows where this house is. This house is the Byron Kingsbury house. It was built in 1915 by Kingsbury, who had moved to Sioux City in 1899. He was vice president of the Sioux National Bank, and also in 1899 was the president of the original Sioux City Brewing Company, and president and general manager of the Missouri River Sioux City Bridge Company. And that was a company that operated the combination bridge. He lived in this house for about 21 years before moving to the house right next door. Just a little bit of architectural style. This is kind of a colonial Georgian revival home with the brackets under the roof and the three dormers with on this side the triangular pediment and the semicircular pediment there in the center on this. Now, the reason Byron Kingsbury moved to the house next door, it was also a house he had built for his father-in-law, Frank McClure. The house was also built in 1915, but McClure had a much deeper history in Sioux City. He had been a wholesale grocer here, and that house is also built in the colonial revival style of architecture. We can just take a little walk up and take a look. Very similar styles of architecture, one just a little bit smaller. Of course, the similarities in the houses are pretty apparent. Underneath the soffit area, we have the very similar brackets. We have the triangular arches of the colonial revival period. And again, we have a very similar brick on both houses. And sometimes it's hard, even in my imagination, I get this house and the neighboring house mixed up, even though the next house up is brick. It's not nearly as red a brick. That's a far more typical Sioux City brick color than these red. In fact, I doubt these red bricks were even made here in Sioux City.
I'm going to ask if that's local brick or not.
As another anecdote, Sioux City was one of the largest brick manufacturing centers in the country from the very beginning. Hi. From dating all the way back to the 1850s, about 1856, between Sergeant Bluff and Sioux City, there had been approximately 20 brickyards in Sioux City and Sergeant Bluff, and as many simultaneously operating companies, eight simultaneously operating brick yards and brick companies in Sioux City. So a lot of brick was made here, and a lot of brick was used in the construction. And there's a great variety of brick. So much difference in the color of the brick depended on how it was fired in the kiln. I think
I thought it was too.
We're just doing a little a tour of that. Talking about history of the houses, the people who built them, and a little history about Jackson.
Yeah.
So. Yep. Byron Kingsbury, 1915, and he built the house did for his father-in-law Frank McClure, both in 1915. and Kingsbury did his house in 1936. Yep. Well, the big thing they lost the brewing company in 1916. Kingsbury owned the Sioux City Brewing Company. Is there really? Yeah.
That's when they had the brewery going.
That's when they had the brewery going. And this is a big brewery. It was where, if anyone remembers where Fairmount Creamery was, near where the combination, or where the Vets Memorial Bridge crosses the Missouri River. It was, right now it's just an empty field.
I think this is tripping trees.
This house?
The steps? Yeah. Really? I did not know that.
That's where we bought it from.
And they've never even
Now that house was for sale. Did it ever sell? It did sell. I remember it was on sale for like $450,000 was what it was. Was it?
I found it on the internet. Came and bought it.
Huh.
So that house is occupied.
Yeah, Don
Yes.
and Tony Wheat.
Now the tunnel, is it blocked off in your basement?
I think it's blocked off. I think they filled it in across the driveway.
So can you even tell where it was in your basement, or?
You can see it from the driveway. There's a new section of concrete.
Ah.
But I can't tell from our basement like that.
There's also a maid's room, but she doesn't show up. We keep bringing the bill.
Well, thanks for sharing. We should probably get.
There's also a story that before the Kingsbury closed on that house, when they sold it,
Yeah.
moved over here, there's a hand-carved mantelpiece, silver plated chandelier, and about 10 wall sconces, all silver plated. They brought over to this house before they moved.
Good idea. I bet you're happy they're here.
Don and Tony Wheat bought that house because I understand you got my mantelpiece.
Who lives here now?
Don and Tony Wheat. They're retired.
Well, thank you.